not what I wanted to do. Now, well, they can hear me anyway. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good out there. I'm excited. Today's going to be a good show. It's going to be really fun. It is Friday, 22nd of May. Who the hell knows what year it is anymore? And it's going to be a good show. Not only myself and Brett here, we're going to talk about the new Tenet trailer, and that's all fine and dandy. That's fine. But I finally figured out how to do it. Katee Sackhoff is going to be joining us today. That's right. We are going to be talking to her about a great many things, if you know what I mean. And, yeah, man, it's going to be cool. So just wait. In just a second, you'll hear the music. Take it easy. Relax.
Hey, Roaring. Jeg har en turf and in Tom's penis.
Welcome back, everybody, to SEN Live. It's the Schmodown Entertainment Network. It's me, Christian Harloff, and I'm back. The close-up for everybody. Look at that stupid thing. I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that, but I figured for now, why not?
Tell me if you want to adjust it.
No, it's all right. It's a little close, but I figured we'll get a little up close and personal. I like it. I look like with the glasses. I look like I'm not a stupid ass that just talks about pizza all day long. It's nice to have everybody back on the show. It's nice to have this character.
Speaking of
that
stupid ass that talks about pizza, I gotta get. You know what? So yours has that glare too. I'm looking to get some that don't have the glare, so I can wear them the whole show. Because
you know how hard it was for me to get these glasses in general, so I can see. I mean, I finally took them into the house because I just leave them in here.
Yeah.
And then I realized, why am I doing that? I can't see shit. I'm like, there's so many. Like someone sent me a text last night, and they said to me, all right, let's talk at 8:30. Can't do 6:30 because I'm talking to the kids. So I was like, cool. So I called the guy at 6:30, and he didn't pick up. And I was like, well, why can't? Oh, it says 8:30.
Yeah. You have to. I'm ready to get the actual prescription now. I got a prescription. She said that I could go with the cheaters for a while, but I have to get a straight up subscription.
That's what you got to do.
And a prescription.
And a prescription, a subscription. Well, as much as I like you, I don't want to talk to you anymore because we finally were able to do it. Everyone. Oh, never mind. I just. Forget it. Well, let me know when I can introduce you. We'll figure that out in a second. So we have a very special guest today, obviously. And I mentioned I had posted it before on the Instagrams, on the socials, on all this stuff too. Katee Sackhoff is going to be joining us in just a second, and it's cool. Have you ever really? I mean, you've got an opportunity to interact with Katee a couple different times.
I believe I did one Schmoes Know show with her, possibly two, but I think it was only the one. Actually,
it was only the one. There's so much to talk to Katee about. I mean, there's so much.
She was an absolute nightmare. I remember.
Oh, she's always.
Yeah,
she's a real son of a bitch.
No,
she's a sweetheart.
Wonderful.
And it's going to be good. Oh, she's back. Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop saying nice things about her because you guys know she's nice. Here she is. Katee Sackhoff is here. Hello, Katee. How you doing?
I'm good. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom.
It's all right. I figured. I mean, I was sitting there and it's like, oh, and ladies and gentlemen, give me this big epic intro and just like, save it, a-hole. I got to pee.
I literally was like, I texted you and I was like, I have to pee. 2 seconds.
Well, it's good. I mean, look, you've been busy in quarantine, doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Trying to make the most of it. It's funny because I go both ways. I go the like, oh my God, don't come out of quarantine having done nothing.
Right.
And the other part of me that's like, guys, it's freaking pandemic. Like, some days I don't want to get out of bed, and maybe I should allow myself to do that. And then the crazy part of me kicks in and goes, get up, bitch.
That's right. I mean, you kind of need that. You need that voice. I think everybody's been going through cycles. I was just talking to you guys before we started here today, and I went through a phase where I was like, okay, you know what? See you later, Brett. I'm going to shave my head. So I did that, and I went up and shaved my head, did that one thing. But then I was eating like an absolute fucking asshole. I mean, like an asshole. And, yeah, right, like an asshole. And then I was, and I'm like looking at myself at one point. I'm like, I was like, oh, I didn't realize that I put Jabba the Hutt in my chair to do an actual show. So I'm proud of myself. My buddy who helped me out with this, he runs this business called Fuel for Fit, and he gave me this whole thing, and now I feel better, I have more energy, and I'm able to do this every day. But I'm looking at you, and you got these workout videos, you're doing a lot of different things. You're still working out. Your fitness is like a big part of your life.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I still have my muscle. I'm not going to lie and tell you that I don't have any of my muscle, but I did the same thing you did. Normally I don't eat dairy. I don't eat gluten. I don't drink alcohol too much. I don't have sugar. I don't eat processed food. Like, that's pretty much me normally. And
right.
I do that lifestyle. As soon as we went into quarantine, I literally think Friday night, like the show was put down and like quarantine, bottles of wine, French fries, burgers, pizza, whatever I wanted to eat, I was eating. And then I got the phone call that it was like, hey, Katie, we're going back to work. And I was like,
no shit. Yeah. But look, a lot of work. Another Life is so what's going on with that? Because I know that it was announced for season 2. Like, when are you guys shooting? When can you shoot? Like, what's the deal with Another Life?
Yeah. So the deal is that I lost you for a second.
I got you. Sorry. That was me.
So that was you. So we were put down like everyone else, and quarantined. And then the interesting thing that has happened is that up in Vancouver, things are starting to get back to normal, and a new sort of normal. And it looks like productions are going to get up and going in July. And so because our show, we're one of those shows that we are the perfect show to get going. We've already started. Yeah. Our scripts are finished. We've got all of our stages that have been held. Our cameras were turned off on Friday and left there. So our cameras, we can just walk back on stage and turn the cameras back on. Yeah. We're a low budget show, so we have the ability to really have a smaller crew, which helps. We're science fiction, so we can write in masks. We can change. There's no background in them. We can really make things COVID friendly. And so I think that that's where we're headed. And it looks like, we're going to get back to work here in the next few months. So for me, the last YouTube video that I did was all about the different bodies for the different characters that I play. And, for Nico, I'm very lean, which is not my body normally. So during quarantine, I went back up to normal Katie, which sits about 8 pounds heavier. And now I've got 8 weeks to get that weight back off again, which I feel like this is deja vu because I literally just did that 2 months ago.
Well, so, that actually brings me to the stuff that you said about the mask and things of that nature, how you guys are going to fit into COVID rules and all that shit. Like, so you're a producer on this show. So when it comes to all of that, that's like there's so much pressure already in being the star of a show. And then, and I remember us talking when COVID wasn't a thing and how much, because you're kind of like that mama bear in general, where you're looking after all the new actors that are coming in and the crew. And this has to be an extra added layer of stress, I assume, to where it's like, okay, how do I not only do I want to make sure everybody's doing their job the right way, I want to protect all these fucking people. So what's the conversations been like so far as on the production side of what you guys are going to do?
It's going to look very different. One of the things that we are so lucky on our show is that we've got a producer, Justice Green, who is Canadian based. He's been around for so many years. And he is a smart man. And he has really spearheaded this. And he has not stopped working since we've been down, trying to figure out how to safely get people back to work and what this is going to look like and how to safeguard our crew and also get them back to work. That's the thing as a producer that I think is an added difficulty, is that you feel responsible for these people's, not only their well-being, but their financial well-being. We're all in a position where we're not making money right now. And people are worried about the future. So, how do we get back to work quickly, but how do we do that safely? And so it looks like things that you would think it looks like, masks, when in a crowded place. It looks like zones for crew. If you're a crew member and you don't need to be someplace, then you can't be there. Right.
That's the way you got to do it. And I think that's, and it's even like last night I was watching the news and as we're listening to, look, the one thing I will say is I'm watching the news and watching these things happen is you see the cycle where in March and April, it was all like, don't move, don't do anything. This is like, everybody's getting sick. Don't move. People are dying. Stay where you are. That was the way it was. And now the news cycle seems to be moving of this is how we're preparing. This is what we're trying to do. Things are going to be different, but we're going back to work. Because we're talking, because schools, parents are freaking out. Myself being one of them, of figuring out how are you going to send your kids to school in the fall and all that shit. But it is at least starting to get to that place, like what you just said of, how do we get to back to work? What do we do once we get back to work? Here are the steps. Yeah, it's going to be different. Our world is going to be different for a while. But it's good that that's how you guys are going to be doing, and that's the steps that you're going to be taking.
Yeah, and I think that it comes down to culpability, but it also comes down to an understanding and a sensitivity from every crew member. If you have a crew member that is unwilling to self-isolate outside of work, that's not going to work. And if you, like my parents have never been able, they sent a lot of their employees home, but my parents were essential. They run apartment buildings and they're in construction, and that was deemed essential. Yeah. And so my parents have been going to work, and now they're finally back to a place where they've got employees coming back in, and my mom made masks with filters in them for all of her employees, and she turns a corner and she sees someone without a mask on, and it's a new employee, and she's like, what are you doing? And the girl's like, well, I needed a drink of water. And my mom goes, well, then you can get up and you can walk someplace and take a drink of water where you're not sitting right next to somebody else. Right. It's that easy. How
old was the person?
In their 20s.
Yes, it's so funny because I told this story. Found the short part of it is we didn't know there was this weird smell coming from outside. We didn't know what the hell it was. Long story short, it turned out to be this fucking squirrel decided to die right underneath my house. Right, so
damn squirrel.
you damn squirrel! How dare you die underneath my house? Son of a bitch! Choose somewhere else. Die under someone else's house. Anyway, so the point being that there were two things that happened. We thought it was a gas leak. It turned out there was a gas leak by my stove that the gas company came in, fixed. The guy that came in, 40s, wearing the mask, the gloves, wanted nothing to do with being in the house, by the way. And my wife had to tell him, don't worry, you're in the safest house possible. The second guy, the guy who went under the house to get the squirrel, 24, no gloves, no mask, nothing. And he's because it's like that. It's that feeling of invincibility, and it's like, dude, first of all, I wouldn't touch a dead squirrel without a mask anyway. That's just me.
No, well, it's we don't need to get into it, but it comes very much down to a sort of. I don't know. I don't know really what it comes down to. But
well, I think about how old what I was like when I was that age. Same thing. Like what you were like when you were that age. It was just like, yeah, man. It's just 100 miles an hour, just running, not looking what you're running into.
It'll never get me. It'll never get me.
Exactly. Right. And you're just running straight. Oh, welcome back, bro. You all right?
Jesus.
What happened?
Well, you try to set things up.
Yeah.
And do things. I tried to get this fire alarm testing on 2 different properties. Yeah. And I said, call me when you're done before you start the other one, because the test doesn't start till 11. So they start testing at 10, and I'm getting 100 calls from the fire department, and they're gonna.
Let me ask you a question. How old was the guy?
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's all right, Brett. Well, we've just been talking about some things we're talking about in
happy
general.
To be done with all of that and just do this.
Well, you caught us at a good transfer here too, because I wanted to ask Katee. Look, the other thing was we had mentioned briefly off air about what you're doing with your YouTube channel, and you've really taken it by the horns here. You've been doing a lot of stuff with the YouTube channel. How many subscribers you working with right now?
I think we're almost 52,000.
That's great. It's great.
Which is great. It's it's funny. I have this conversation with people all the time. I remember right before I started the YouTube channel, I was told, by an ex of mine that it was going to ruin my career.
Really?
Wow.
And I think what's funny about it is I think that we have to, as performers, understand that the landscape is changing. We have to diversify.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Portfolio, so to speak. And in that, I am an entertainer. That's what I do. Hey guys. And I have to be able to find ways to do that. And I also want a semblance of control over that.
Yep.
And the YouTube channel for me was so special. Not only do I get to do it with my fiance, but we're doing things that we find interesting that we're curious about. And if we're curious about it, we're hoping that there are other people out there that are curious about it. And we're just filming it.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. That's the other thing, by the way. Congratulations. So you had posted it was right in the beginning, I think, as all this started. You posted it on your Instagram. Was so happy to hear it and see it. By the way, I had the pleasure of meeting Robin when we did the Universal Scare thing, the Makuga, and man, it's congratulations to both of you guys. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Really good.
We're really happy. He's you kiss a lot of toads.
Thank God you aren't quarantined with a toad and somebody.
Amazing on so many levels. All right, so
how many people are quarantined right now?
Look at Katie.
Thank God I'm not in quarantine with one of my exes, because I would be in jail right now.
Yeah. So I am posting a link to Katie's channel in the chat room at the moment. Please go and check that out. Please do that. And by the way, so streamlabs.com/the Schmodown. We have the Schmobot on, so you can ask questions to Katie through the Schmobot if you like, and we'll go through the streamlabs.com/the Schmodown in a little bit as we're here talking to Katie. Katie, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about here was, speaking about quarantine stuff, another thing that hit was the last season of the Clone Wars. And oh my God, was it good. It was so good. And look, I know that you've done Clone Wars, you've done Rebels. When this angle was coming about, and I saw the Ahsoka angle, and I've been, my review of it was the same thing that fans are sick of me saying, that I saw that the first 8 episodes to me, I thought were really good for the, if it wasn't the last season. I felt like a lot of them was like, okay, I thought that the first 4 so good with the Bad Batch and everything too, but
Bad Batch, one of the best episodes ever, though.
It's a great angle. It really was. I was just waiting. Essentially, what happened in the last 4 episodes was, tying in everything and ending the season with this big bang. I was waiting for that, and when that stuff wasn't coming, I was getting nervous because we were 8 episodes in. But it's the last episode of that Ahsoka and the sisters arc. And here comes Bo-Katan. And she comes in and she's saying to Ahsoka, all right, I need your help. Come with us. Maul's, and this is stuff that we had heard about, things that kind of tied into other things that are going down. But at what point were you, what's your relationship, obviously, with that team over with Rebels and Clone Wars? Because how did you first get involved in the Clone Wars? Let's start there.
Yeah, and Filoni.
Yeah.
So Clone Wars was actually brought up to me, 7 years ago now? I think Bo came in season 4 of Clone Wars. So she was sort of brought up to me as this really interesting Mandalorian warrior, and they wanted to really showcase a female Mandalorian warrior. And Dave thought of me. And I think it was because, Starbuck had sort of just really come into her own, and people started thinking of this character that I had, stereotypically was always a man, and now it was this woman. And I think that he was a fan of the show and saw that. And, the character was created sort of in his wife's honor. She was never meant to be as big as she was. I think that that she found her own, and I also think that Filoni fell in love with the character, and the storyline just worked in Bo's favor as far as her family was concerned, and the fight for Mandalore.
So when that came, and again, because the Clone Wars, what was so good, that show in general was the only Star Wars material for a while that we were getting before Lucasfilm had been sold to Disney, and those were the stories that we were getting as Star Wars fans, and it was really satisfying, and there was so much lore that was put into it. And then once the purchase did happen, they stopped production on it, and the sixth season was like the final season. Then they announced that they're coming back for the seventh season, and Filoni gets to do it on Disney Plus. When did you record those final episodes? How long ago was that? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember? Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago, and because animation with the voices and everything too. But I mean, but that arc. Go ahead, Skinny. Sorry, what'd you say?
I think it was about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Because I think that Robin and I had just started dating.
Okay.
And we've been together for almost 2 years, so I think it was like a year and a half ago.
He's a big Star Wars guy too, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know a lot. He is a big Star Wars fan, but I don't know a lot of people that like know as much about Star Wars as you do. I think it's like you, Filoni.
I wouldn't go that far, but
friends.
yeah. But
like, there are a few guys that like you can really deep dive into Star Wars. I mean, you yourself like have helped me figure out the timelines of Star Wars a couple times.
Well, I'm glad because I mean, like I said, this is it is my favorite. It's my favorite, genre and my favorite IP, and to have you a part of it is great because you do elevate it. And the Mandalorians are so far that even that whole angle and everything that they do in Rebels and the way that it has, it's furthered the lore. And so what I will ask you is this: if you were approached, because we've seen all the different things that have been out there before, and there's tons of things out there, and we're not going to try to pretend that you can say yes or no to certain things because we're not idiots. So what I would ask is, if you were approached to be in a live action Star Wars project, would you be interested in doing so?
I mean, Christian, who wouldn't be?
Right.
I grew up a fan of Star Wars. Clone Wars was, a dream come true for me. It still is a dream come true working with Filoni and, who is literally been handed the hat by Lucas himself. Yeah. I think that I would be stupid not to. It's such a great story. And, that's the great thing about Star Wars is there's so many places you can go with it. Right.
I agree. And I think one of the cool things, let's say it was something like the Mandalorian, which is to show on Disney Plus right now. And it is, I think one of the cool things that they've been doing, or bringing in all these like different directors and bringing in, being able to, I always thought that Star Wars would serve best on television because you can really develop the same way that Clone Wars and Rebels did. So do you think by them bringing in all these directors, not only does it give a chance for the story to further, but it also makes actors kind of really interested in getting involved with something like this because, there's so many different people that they could work with.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the directors.
Lion Resist Bleeding donated $20. Katie, how was the set of Mondo season 2? JP, thank you for being a great inspiration for young women
this robot's
everywhere.
coming.
You
Hold on
seem
a
like to
second.
me to be a wonderful person, and we are lucky to have you as an entertainer in this world. What is your favorite project?
I'll read that too because it was.
Yeah. And it was for my anus is burning, so you'll want to get to this one right away, Katie.
We'll get. Sorry, you were talking.
I do love getting questions from my anus.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of not being able to turn off the Schmobot at the moment. Sorry, you were saying as far as the talent of the directors that are there.
I mean, I think that Taika Waititi is one of the most creative and imaginative, phenomenal directors and talents that we have. I've been a fan of him since I saw Boy, which is, if you guys haven't seen Boy, it's one of his it's a New Zealand film that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard is amazing, and there's so many directors that directed season 1 and directors that have been announced for season 2 that are fantastic. I mean, that's one of the things that's so great about television is that so in that extent, you're very right. One of the things I love about being a TV actor is that every 10 days I work with a different director.
Yeah.
I love it. Always loved it. It's I think that the pace of television is just, always been better for me anyway.
I agree. You've been involved in a lot of when it comes to the social media casting storms. We remember we had started the Captain Marvel thing back in the day.
The fact that we're finally admitting that we started.
That was one of those things. We were on the Schmoes No Show back in the day.
Hotel Turd donated $20. As much as I enjoyed the first season of The Mandalorian, gotta say I think I'm enjoying the behind-the-scenes series more. The cast episode gave me a whole new appreciation for Gina Carano's physicality in the role of Cara Dune. Katee will bring it.
That's a great point. Have you watched any of the behind-the-scenes stuff on Disney Plus, by the way? Okay, Katee, I have not. Watch those.
Gina Carano's amazing. I mean, it's so funny because Gina and I have literally been in the same circle for so many years, in the sense that when Gina first came on the scene in Haywire, I think everyone started comparing she and I together and wanted to see she and I work together. And we had the same agent. And so I think that our names were constantly against each other for projects.
Yeah.
And then I left that agency, and then she came to the same agency that I was at.
Oh, really? Wow.
So our stories are constantly like this. And I was at the Sci-Fi Awards. What are those awards called?
The Saturn.
Was it? Yeah, it was the Saturn Awards. I was at the Saturn Awards for Another Life presenting, and I was backstage, and Gina was there, and I had never met Gina before.
Oh, really? Okay.
I had, in my mind, created this story that society, in this business loves, of two women against each other that are constantly up against each other. Right. And there's this competition and da-da-da-da. And I literally met Gina, and she literally squealed like a little girl and was like, "Oh my God, I love you so much." And I was like, "Oh my God, I love you so much. Why did I spend the last 10 years of my career thinking that you wanted to punch me? This is amazing.
That's awesome.
We're friends now. Yay."
Yeah, I hear nothing but good things. I've never had a chance to meet her yet, but I've heard great things about her. And I'll tell you another thing that I've said again about Gina Carano is, I think, and she had said it, she's never I think dove into acting, and there's certain performances of hers I'm like, I don't know. And she says it in Mandalorian, and I saw it. She is so locked in to this character of Cara Dune. She's so locked in. And that's why I would say, if you have an opportunity to watch these behind-the-scenes docs that they've done on did you watch the fourth one, by the way?
I forgot it was this morning.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. So
I don't know what date.
It's fine. There's 4 of them on, but the 3, and she talks a lot about working with Carl Weathers. She talks about how she got the role. She talks about how locked in she was into it.
Donated $20. Hey, Katee, big fan. I have enjoyed you in Clone Wars, Riddick, and of course Battlestar Galactica. I remember you in White Noise, the light years ago. Really want to see you in a Marvel or DC movie or series soon.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Is that anything you'd want to do, or?
Right.
It's funny because I'm actually I play Amunet, so I think that that was the closest that I've gotten the pleasure of being to a superhero, to be honest, playing a supervillain over on The Flash. And I have so much fun playing her. And I think that people, you love her or you hate her. I hear all the time that her accent is absolutely horrible. And I think that people think, I think they're missing the point. It's
right.
I did this crazy over the top, Mary Poppins on crack type accent because I was creating a supervillain in my head. She's not supposed to be real. If I was doing Shakespeare in the Park with Judi Dench, I would have gone and gotten a dialect coach.
Yeah. That's
not what this character is. This is a woman who, was given superpowers in a plane crash.
Right. How many episodes of that show have you done so far?
5?
6? Did you get a chance to work with Kevin Smith yet on that show?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was so upsetting to me. Yeah. I love Kevin, and I actually filled in for him on his podcast, Fat Man and Beyond.
Oh yeah, with Mark. Yeah, Mark's awesome.
Yeah. He was off doing press for what's that? Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, okay. By the way, have you seen the reboot of Jay and Silent Bob?
No.
Holy shit. shit, it was really funny. I didn't know what to expect because I was a big, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. I loved a lot of his stuff, even the crazier stuff like Tusk and Yoga Hosers. And I was nervous watching it because I'm like, I love these characters so much. I was laughing. Sadie and I were laughing our asses off. But one of the cool things, I don't know, we had announced this. Kevin Smith is officially announced to be he's going to be part of the showdown now.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to compete. He's going to compete. We're
against you.
That. Against you. You're going to come back and you're going to play.
Yep.
No,
yeah, please give us the publicity of that.
No,
please?
I'd actually have her come back and play you.
Oh, please.
She almost beat Ken Knapsack.
I'd be down. Yeah.
Yeah, the Alyssa Milano pull.
Ken Knapsack by like a technicality. It was like a Hail Mary guess that just happened to be right.
Yeah.
And I don't know that much about film, so I'm not like, you don't want me on your team. Like, if you're gonna have a softball league, like, pick me. But like,
yeah,
I would love to compete against you because people would watch it. That's all I care about. You'd probably beat me, but I would love to just, the Bonnie. I went against Bonnie. That's my only match. I'm undefeated,
right.
And that was very close.
It was very close.
That could have gone either way. So
it was true. So Katie, what else? I mean, as far as again, I mean, what I was saying when we started, the question I had with the Captain Marvel thing and now all this, hype over the last couple of weeks, is that, do you, at that point, when all this stuff coming in on your social media, do you just shut it off, or do you pay attention to it and be like, guys, you just let the cards fall where they may, and I've enjoyed my time doing what I'm doing, and let's everybody thank you, but let's chill.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and we talked about, I've been in the middle of this speculation rumor before, and when it comes out that it's not you, it's a little interesting, I mean, there's still people that are, I mean, everyone loves Larson. I think that she did a great job, but there are still people that every day say, I wish it would have been Captain Marvel. And so it's hard sometimes because so do I.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah,
I think that sometimes people don't realize that they bring things up like that. It's like, yeah, I wish that would happen too.
Yeah. Well, look, this is, like I said, what I tried to figure out here too. We were able to get you in for a bit here because the Zoom decided now that it wants to crackle and pop all the audio right now. So we got you as clear as we could for about a half an hour. And I also know you're a busy lady, but I wanted to bring you in. I wanted to talk to you for a little bit because we miss your face. So yeah, when you're able to, and when we're able to, I want you to be able to come into the studio, and I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for coming in here and joining us today, guys. Please go and check out Katie's YouTube channel. Can't wait. I want to hear more about the second season, and then if you have any other cool projects coming up, and maybe like later in the fall or something too, I'd be excited to talk to you about it.
There's a few things coming out. My fiance and I are breaking a script right here that we sold actually. So
wow.
So yeah, we've got a lot of things in and around the end of the year.
Can't wait. Can't wait. And when we do, we'll talk again. Ladies and gentlemen, Katee Sackhoff, thank you so much, Katie. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Have a good
You too.
There we go. Mute video. Hi, video.
I'll help you out. All right, so we're gonna try. Hopefully,
the click.
It's like Zoom only lets you do it for so long, and then it starts to
clicky click.
My favorite is that the audience is like, it's popping. Popping. I fucking know.
Yeah,
I know. There's nothing I can do about it, guys. I
just looked up. I was trying to even research it. I don't know what it is.
I think one of the things, it's this window capture thing. I think there's another way to do it where you can. RB3 is going to show me how to do it. Where it's more. For now, we're going to bring you stupid ass.
Oh yeah, boy.
So we'll do this, but.
Yeah. You ever just? I'm sorry I had to run out. I did everything to the T. I lined everything up perfectly. Like you're like, here you go. Here's everything you need to make this work and not have to bug me.
You like Zoom?
Yeah. And then it just it's like, come on, people.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. So I'm sure that is it better now? Is it still popping or good?
Are we snap, crackling, pip?
Yeah, because I think that what I can try to is tell me if it's still popping.
Oh, don't do that.
I know the whole thing shuts down again. It pops the whole show. Is the show still popping? I'll find out in a second.
We're popping.
Yeah, because I don't know what the hell's going on if it's still popping now. I'll have to shut. What I will have to probably it's better now. A bit. It's still popping. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Good luck to us all. Here's what I'm going to try to do. I am going to shut down this Rodecaster for a second. Now, if it restarts again, the damn stream, just join us on, or we'll have to restart it. So cross your fingers, everybody.